Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Auto Club Speedway here for the Sportsman Legacy Truck Series brought to you by THD Designs here for the Crown Jewel Racing community. Round 4 here at Auto Club. Well, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here in Southern California here, also known as Fontana Speedway back in the day. And currently, you can find a look at it. Fastest in practice going to be this driver in the number 24, Nathan Jump, making his debut here in the Sportsman Truck Series. And not a lot of guys on track right now. We have Jim Mott out on track on number 38, Flamin' Hot Cheetos machine. And Jim sitting P8 in practice. A little bit of over 8 minutes to go, and you have to take a look at some of the drivers who are going to be consistently up here right now. Not a lot of drivers right now on tracks. 12 drivers here have shown up to Fontana. See the huge wreck by the 38 right there. We have to look maybe at one of these drivers back here. Jay Salmon back here in the 12th position. Well, back here in P12 on track. What I meant to say. And he's someone who's consistently at least been driving here in the Sportsman truck. So you see him hit a truck upside down who we missed. That's fortunate for that 67. But Corey Mott, when one of the drivers who have been consistently up front, honestly, Ryan Taft has really shocked some people here and has been able to run up front. You see that white and black 86 machine. See Zach Thomas Johnson back here in the P4 position. Bob Baker put you on the thumbnail tonight, Bob, so hopefully you can have a good run. Obviously, I've had a terrible couple of last starts here in the Sportsman Truck Series, but you have to, someone who I'm looking at, Joseph Stafford, we just saw his engine blow back in looking at Bob, but Joseph won a race back in the VRS Truck Series when that was still a thing here in the Crown Jewel community, and went out there and won a race in there. So maybe look at this number 57 and maybe come and take a win here in the Sportsman Series. And now only one truck on track. That is the 12 of William Martin. William Martin making one of his first couple starts here in the series as well. And now sitting currently P6 on the chart. You see that on that little ticker bubble. So a good little jump for this number 12 machine. Nice looking hot rod as well. You know what? We got nothing else to do. Let's ride on board with the 12 machine. He's going to take you around the track for a lap here at Auto Club. Something I've always loved about Auto Club is just how much you can move around on the track. It's so wide, you know, almost 5 lanes wide across the whole track. So you can really run whatever lane you want, whatever that truck wants to do. As long as you have, the talent to get up there and put that car where it needs to be, or that truck where it needs to be, you can put it wherever you want. It's going to be pretty much full throttle for the first couple laps you're going to see here. Especially out here in clean air, it's definitely going to be full throttle for William. Probably doing some practice runs there. You see him go all the way down to the apron at the start finish line. See him backing down the pace here. Probably doing a quality run, I would presume. You're going to see now this 150. This 12 machine start to slow it down. I'm going to park this machine. Now we have Bob Baker coming back out on track, trying to run some laps. Let me try to find something to talk about for you guys here at home. Let me see if I can find maybe the point standings for you guys to look at. Just something to talk about for these last, 4 minutes. You see Bob out here trying to make some practice runs. Only car out on truck, maybe trying to do some practice for green flag pit stop stack. Can and potentially will happen with only, right now, 12 cars showing up. There's someone coming out now. That's Joseph Stafford. One of your favorites maybe for the win. I don't think they have points up on the Crown Jewel Racing website to take a look at your points for this race, for these last races. Looks like maybe the website not updated. You see this number 57 doing some practice runs here with a little over 2.5 minutes left in practice. I do not see the website being updated, unfortunately. There's really no way to check the points except maybe if we go into, maybe they have it in. I don't think I'm a part of the league, which is also I can't look at the points either. Which is unfortunate. But we'll take a look at maybe some names who could be up there in the points. Ryan Taft back here. He's ran most of the races, ran pretty well. Jim Mott has ran almost every race, I'm pretty sure. Bob Baker. Corey Mott, when he has ran it really well. So maybe some drivers to look at. I think this is one of Joseph's first starts here in the Sportsman series. Obviously, he ran very well in the VRS Truck series, so ran really well at Auto Club as well when we did that preseason test race earlier in February. So maybe look at him to be a favorite to come up here and maybe potentially come up here and win. Another truck on track is that 12 machine once again of William Martin. See that Vanes machine once again, a really nice looking machine for this 12 truck. But with just over 30 seconds left in practice, we'll see, these guys get back to the line, maybe run some quality practice, I presume is what some of these guys are doing. See Joseph coming back down Pear Road, giving the TV cams back over to the 12 machine of William. With the clock ticking down, Nathan Jump will be fastest in practice in that number 24 machine. Are currently out of the truck, so we cannot show you that Exalt Flames machine that he has, but he will win practice here at Auto Club. Getting ready to get into your qualifying for tonight's race. Obviously, each driver has 2 laps to complete a good time. You're going to see the weather change a little bit. Going to get a little bit, a little bit more dark outside. And we're going to try to find someone to grab. Go ahead and grab Corey Mott. Get our qualifying ticker up and ready to go. We see Corey come out of the pits. I imagine you see a lot of these drivers come up here, try to run as high as they can to get a good run off the corner to start this first lap. And for these trucks, I'm pretty sure that you want to get this lap done quick. I don't think the second lap will be quicker, especially here at Auto Club. You want to use those fresh tires as fast as you can to get back into the game and to get a good lap in here. Corey actually going to run the top here, so he's actually going to use that second lap as that heater, it looks like. Corey going into turn 3. See what this first lap is going to turn out to be. .2 for Corey. Getting up for P2. Cameron Albertson currently your pole city with a 40.203. Going to the line to 15 will run. He did not improve on that time, actually. Right now, Joseph Stafford, we talked about a favorite here. You had your pull 40.237. Nathan Jump. With this coming to his first lap. Remember, he was fastest in practice, so look for him to have a good lap here. The truck just seems a little bit more wound up than some of these other ones. You can just hear it. But he just has a little bit more speed. Coming to the line, this will complete his first lap, I believe. Maybe his second. Lap 2 complete, 40.0. That's going to be your pole. Easily. 2/10 quicker than P2. Really, the only person to not run a lap is Alan Phillips in the number 76 machine. Great lap by this number 24. Other cars on track now. Bob Baker down Perry Road, currently P10. Jem Mott is parked it, but currently P11. So Bob with a 40.38. So not a bad lap. We still continue to see this 24 run out laps. He's gonna park it now. Go ahead and grab your overhead ticker. You see now. Just under a minute left. So that does give enough time for maybe Bill Allen to get a lap in. I'm not sure if he's going to do that. But you'll see at the top of your screen right there, your current running order. For qualifying. And with that all said and done, I think, yeah, there's no way Allen's going to have enough time. Nathan Jump will take the pole here at Auto Club. Joseph Stafford, Jackson Simmons, and Cameron Albertson, you fast forward here at Fontana. With that all said and done, we'll get ready to prepare to go 75 laps here at Fontana. I'm excited. You know, Auto Club, one of the more exciting tracks here on the sim, especially with just how wide and how dynamic the track can be. Kind of similar to the Michigan. You could call, Michigan maybe a sister track to this Auto Club Speedway. But this track has so much more, character than I feel like Michigan does. It's so bumpy. It's so, you know, I feel like it's harder to drive than Michigan from experience, and it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers can, go through the changing track and the bumps and everything else pretty easily here. But we see most of you drivers on track, everybody besides the first and last driver. So we'll actually go ahead and get your starting lineup started here. Brought to you by High Velocity TV. We saw that lap by Nathan Jump. He takes the pole with that 14 flat. Joseph Stafford gonna round out row 1. Starting row 2, Jackson Sims on the number 6 Delta machine, and Cameron Albertson gonna round out that row 2. Row 3, Corey Mott, boss man himself with Jay Salmon. Starting in 7th is going to be Ryan Taft, the number 86 machine, with Dak Johnson in the number 45. And I got your top 10, William Martin and Bob Baker in that number 11 Safe Flight machine. And out the field, Jim Mott and Alan Phillips in the number 76. And not too many drivers showed up for this race. Right now, 11 on track. Not even that 76 decided to come out here and do stuff. So we'll take a look at your race weather for tonight's race. 72 degrees with 12-mile-an-hour wind. That's going to definitely play a factor into their partly cloudy forecast. So definitely a good way to race. Look at your track facts presented by Delta Eagle Designs and Delta Eagle Racing. Obviously here in Fontana for a 2-mile racetrack with bankings, 14 degrees in the corners and 11 degrees in the tri-oval. So make sure to go over and check out Delta Eagle Racing, Delta Eagle Designs over on X at Delta Eagle _84 or Delta Eagle Racing on X. But with that all said and done, 74 laps. We have the 24 and the 57 Chevy leading us to the green. Coming to the line, it's going to be side by side for the lead. Give it to the 24. Give it to the 6, actually. Jackson Sims going to lead your first lap here at Auto Club. But here comes the 57, Joseph Stafford. We know he's going to be quick here. He'll try to look to the bottom of the 6 machine, but look at that. No help on the bottom. You're going to see kind of almost like a draft-style package here with the trucks at the start of this race. You can see the 24 actually push that 6 machine out past the 57. Now it's going to be the 24 and the 6 trying to battle for this lead. 57 drops back to P3. And Cameron Albertson at that 8 trying to use the top and to move his way up into the in the 4th. See the 67 to 15. That is Mott and Salmon side by side for that P5 spot. Going into 1 and 2. Before you're going to try to use that high lane to get the run off the corner. Can you make it stick? He does. Side by side once again for this P5 position. But now, side by side for the second place, as we have a caution. William Martin gonna barely keep it off the wall. We will take a look at what happened here. Oh man, just I think Jim just didn't realize that that 12 was down there, and unfortunately tries to get around the maybe trying to make a move on the 45. I'm not sure. It might have been some contact maybe between the 12. It's kind of hard trying to maybe take a look at your chopper cam if we have one. We do. See if we could take a look from this point of view. Yeah, that's base. I mean, that's the ultimate racing. That's the ultimate, definition of two guys coming together. You saw the 12 come up a little bit, maybe tried the side draft, and you saw the 38 come down off the wall there, and they get collected, and that will be a caution every day. Fortunately, you would say, well, why is that a caution? I mean, they're off the racing service, but unfortunately, iRacing with some of these new updates have changed it to where, if even if they're off the surface, they've been calling it lately. So. Caution comes out here on lap 3, my apologies, and we'll be stacking them back up once again. Everybody deciding to come down pit road for the most part. Ryan Taft, and you see right now your race leader, Zach Johnson, gonna stay out. Mott comes down pit road. 27-second stop. Actually, I think he just drives through. Zach Jackson Sims, the 4.8-second stop. Everybody looks like just topping off on fuel. The longest stop actually is William back there with a 8.4-second stop. So even with that spin, decides not to take a set of tires, it looks like. Just going to top off on some Sunoco race fuel and get that truck back out there. With some strategy at hand already here at Pocono. I mean, we saw Corey come down pit road, but did not make a stop, so either missed his box or maybe second thought about actually topping off on race fuel, wanted the track position. But Ryan Taft and Zach Johnson going to be your front row, deciding to stay out. Obviously, we only ran what? Maybe 3 laps. So, I mean, you could easily make up that fuel under caution here. So, I don't really blame these guys for coming out. Obviously, 3 laps on tire wear is a little bit more than you would see at a shorter track, maybe like Kansas or like we went last week, Chicagoland. That extra half a mile is a lot for the tire wear here in these trucks, but I don't really think three laps is going to be too much. Maybe you'll see it if we do go green longer than, I would say, 15, 20 laps. You might see those front 2 maybe start the fade back if they push pretty hard. But I don't really dislike this call by the 2 leaders to stay out. Maybe get some track position. Obviously, these guys starting towards back. Zach Johnson starting P8 and Ryan Taft starting P7. So up 7 positions and 5 positions respectively with these front 2 drivers. You do see the lights off on the pace car. So we'll hook that hard left turn down pit road, and we're going to have a Ford Toyota front row. First time we've seen that this race. And then number 45 is going to lead us back to green. Pretty good jump out of the 45, a really good jump out of the 15 as well. Corey Mott side by side with the 86 for that P2 position. You're gonna see that 86 with the run out of the corner. Gonna get back to the back tailgate of the 45, get him a huge shot down the straight. And here comes the 6. Trying to make a move on top of the 15. Gonna be tight. Or you're gonna keep that truck pinned to the white line and do everything he can to keep that spot. Whoa! Huge move out of the 86. He's going to lead that lap. Really aggressive move out of 86. Go up there and take the lead. Remember, these two leaders had the same tires, so saw Corey make it a move to push that 86 out in front, but now going to look to the bottom. 45 looking a little squirrely on that top. He's going to shove that 86 out. Corey Mott looking underneath for the lead on the bottom. Side by side for the race lead. Side by side, what? Three lanes back as well. So everybody trying to take advantage of these, of everybody being stacked up, of these new, taking advantage of these new tires as well. The 86 gonna pin that thing up against the wall and try to get a good run out of the corner, and he will. It's a good run. He actually clears the 15 down the backstretch. You see him go down there and defend that bottom lane that Corey's been running. And he takes some air off his nose. Now single file until you get back here around the 7th place spot. Albertson side by side with the 45 with Zach Thomas. Albertson's going to make that move work. And that's the caveat to running this top. But we'll look at this 45 is that he's running so far up. I think it's actually like compromising some pace. And he's, especially in 1 and 2, he's right up there against the boards. And unfortunately in these trucks, unless you start to get the tire wear, it is faster to go on the bottom. It looks like we might have a little battle for the race lead. Joseph Stafford making his way into the picture. Ooh, almost some contact between the 86 and the 15, but Stafford trying to drive it into the bottom. Going to get side by side with the 15, but the 15 is going to get some help from the top to get him clear. Stafford once again side by side for the lead, will drop all the way back in third in line once again. This is what you're going to see for a little bit. That top is going to be really good until the tire wear starts to come into play. And then it just burns up so much tires just because how wide this track is. It's just so much longer around the track. When you go up there and run up there, yeah, you get a good run off the corner and stuff like that, but it's just physically a longer distance around the track versus someone who's running the bottom like that 57 of Stafford. Right now, everybody's single file for the most part. But everybody up each other's tailgates. Not really anybody has gotten away. There is a little gap behind Cameron Albertson. You see that 45 of Zach Johnson starting to let these guys get away a little bit. You see the 24 of Noah Jump, your pole sitter, back here in the P8 position. Maybe just trying to save his stuff a little bit. He says, I know I have a fast truck, but I know I can't burn up my tires. If I burn them up, I'm just going to continue to fall through the field. So I think that's exactly what this 24 is doing. Getting back here, saving his equipment. And we'll be back there later on in the race. Another fight for the battle for the lead here. Saw the 86 try to get on the inside of the 15, but the 15, once again, using this higher lane, using momentum, it's really making this 86 struggle to get to even side by side with the 15. But we do have some jockeying for position back here. Right outside the top 10. Actually, it is for this top 5. The weight of Albertson will pass the 6. Like Jackson Sims. Jackson decided to run the bottom. And Albertson decided to go up there and run the top, get the momentum off the corner. He's going to make that pass, putting himself inside the top 5 for the first time. Taft once again trying to use the bottom and trying to make a move here. If you're going to make a pass here, I feel like you really do have to drive it in. And drive it in hard. Because you see right there, he tried to make the move, had washed up the track, had the lift, and now look, he's getting taken advantage of by the 57, and now the 67 of Jay Salmon going to make this pass work. And now he goes from second all the way back to fourth, potentially, depending on how this run out of the corner looks. Ooh, in the wall once again, and now even more damage to that 86. Ryan Taft goes from second back to 8th. And that's all set up just because he tried to make the move on the race lead, had to wash up, lost momentum, and then was forced to run the wall, overdrove the corner, and lost a bunch of track position and a bunch of time. Moves his way back up into the 7th spot. But definitely something you didn't want to see out of this 86. And this is really where the racing's at now. After that 86 kind of fell back, it kind of separated out, you know, that top 3. Now the racing is back here for 4th on back. Albertson trying to hang on. You see that 6 all the way down, trying to pressure him, and you see the 24, Nathan Jump, starting to make some moves. I haven't seen this 24 once go down to the bottom, go up to the top to try to make stuff. He's just kind of been really consistently running the bottom. Honestly, I think he is just trying to save his equipment right now. 17 of 75. Not even, you know, a third of the way done yet. Now you'll finally see this 24 try to make a move. Once again, on the bottom. So if I'm going to pass you, you're not going to make me go up there and pass you on the top, burn my stuff up. I'm going to make the move on the 6. Now, that 24 up to the P5 position. Moving his way up to the top 5 once again. That's 24 closing in on the 08 of Albertson. Albertson sitting right there in that P4 spot where he qualified and where he started this race. Here comes the 24. 24 is going to be forced to use the top this time. Albertson saw that. The 24 likes to run the bottom. Goes down there and tries to block it, and it's going to force this 24 to try to make this pass on the top. He does make the move. Makes it stick now side by side. Back there for the P6 spot. Obviously trying to use the bottom. Not going to make it work. You're going to see that 6 machine clear and get in front of him. .45 I see is like one of the only drivers who is committed to running the top. He actually gets around the 08 with the momentum he gets from running the top, but I feel like Tyler will catch up to him if he continues to do that. Everybody in the wall. Wow. You know, you're just starting to see the handling start to go away on all these cars. Now Nathan Jump making a move. That's going to be a 2-for-1, I think. 4th to 2nd. What a move by this 24. I think he's going to get clear of this 57, though. The 57 with a great run out of the top, off the top lane. Once again, it's going to be one of those train fests. 24 with still pretty good momentum. I'm going to try to look underneath this 57 for the P2 spot. Nothing of it yet. Not quite clear. The 57. 57 going to drop down, chop his nose. This is exactly what Corey wants to see. Them racing side by side, trying to get back up to him. This does allow Corey to They run the line he wants to save tires, try to keep this truck out in the lead. See the 24 all over the back tailgate now of this 15 machine. He's going to try to make a move. Clear track ahead. And once again, the 24 trying to make something happen of that. $15 not going to give it up that easy. Going to use the top to get him a run off the corner. And he'll once again get clear. And give the lead back to the 24. He gets up to the front once again. Started from the pole, came back down, topped off on fuel, drove his way back up to the front. Nathan already showing that he might be the early favorite. Come out here and take a win away from these guys who've been running throughout the whole season. See him trying to swerve around, tried to not give that draft back to the 15 machine, but because with how drafty these trucks are, especially at a track like here in Michigan, I mean, the draft is crucial. Like, the draft can keep you in the race or keep you out of the race. If you do not have the draft and you're running by yourself, it might be game over. Versus if you do have the draft and have someone to pull you along. Especially someone that's faster, like this 24. 24 starts to pull away. We start to see a battle shake up for this outside, this front. See the 6 of Jackson Sims get up and around the 15 out of 15. Starting to get used up by the 57 again. 57 with the cross down underneath that 15 Mobile 1 machine. Trying to make that bottom work. To see Jay Salmon back there. Also trying to take advantage of one of these two trucks. Gonna go up there and push the 57. Drive him down into the corner. We're doing a good job defending. I feel like he's probably the one driver I feel like who maybe has lost a little bit of pace in this track. He's having to, drive a little bit more defensively. Run the top when he needs to. Go down there and block the bottom so someone can't go down there and, get a better corner than he can. You see, he's just trying to mirror drive. He just goes a little bit higher than his 57 does just to try to give him that dirty air. Feed him something, right? You can tell he's starting to slow up, I think, a couple of these drivers, as the 6 and the 24 are starting to slowly, just a little bit, pull away from the rest of the field. Saffer going to try to top. I think he will get clear of the 15. The 45 are going to try to follow in pursuit. 45 pushing that 57 down the tri-oval. Going to get him clear. And now he's going to try to use this top to get around this 15 machine. And if you're Corey, you're in a super vulnerable spot. And it's super frustrating when this happens. When you think, oh, I'm going to run the bottom. I'm going to save my tires a little bit. And then you see everybody else go up there, run the top. It's going to be a little bit faster with the momentum. And they just go right past you. And there's nothing you can do because everybody else, will just go around you. They won't go up there and try to push you on the bottom. And they'll just say, oh, well, the faster the top has the run, I'm going to take it, right? They're not going to work with you. You see Corey Mott go all the way from the lead back to P6. Then what? You'd say 5-10 laps here. Speaking of, in the matter of 5-10 laps, we are, past the first third of this race. Under 50 laps to go here already at Auto Club. And now we have gotten to that part of the run where the tire wear will start to come into effect, right? You will see who burned their stuff up, trying to keep the track position and try to drive through the field. And who are the guys? Kind of like Nathan Jump, who kind of sat back quietly, and when it was time to go for him, he went. Now look at him. Him and that 6, who also did a really good job with their tires, starting to pull away. Joseph Stafford in third, a second behind that P2 driver of Jackson Sims. And they're consistently running faster laps than Joseph. Last lap was a 41.92 versus Joseph's 42 flat. My apologies. Jackson Sims actually about half of a tenth quicker that lap than your race leader. So Jackson's starting to run down your leader. And that's exactly what the 24 did not want to see, because if he gets to him, you're going to know that they're going to battle, right? And when they battle, that's going to allow, if they're not back, to slowly, chomp at the bit and get back to, maybe getting back to this race lead. Currently, your biggest mover of the race is at 45 is Zach Johnson. Qualified back there in 8th. Just, I thought he was going to burn up his stuff right there, running the top, but obviously he knows a little bit more about how that top works than I do, because he's driven up to the 4th place spot. I'm trying to run down your 3rd place driver of Joseph Stafford. Joseph right there in camera shot, so not that far away. But he does have some pressure from the 67 of Jay Salmon, who is also up 1 spot. Well, up positions. Obviously, 45 up 4, and the 67 up 1. With that all said and done, I think right now the closest battle is, well, I was going to say for this P8 position, but Ryan Taft, with some type of mistake, he's going to lose some time there. But these 3 have completely fallen off the back part of this lead pack. Now, 4 seconds behind Cameron Albertson and 6.5 seconds behind your race leader. So these guys losing the handling in the trucks pretty quickly, and starting to lose some pace here in the last coming laps. And considering 29, we have guys with around 29, 28 lap stints on their tires, and then you have the 45 with 34, 5 extra laps on these tires, and making something of it back up here in the 4th position. So that's just even more impressive. Obviously, I would say 2 or 3 of those 5 laps were green. The other ones were caution. And speaking of caution, caution's all right now for the 86. Ryan Taft has a little bit of an incident here, and we'll take a look at what happened. With the 86 going underneath the 12, try to make the move for that P, I believe it was that P10 or P9 position. And oh man, looks like another one of those 2 drivers coming together moments. Hard to tell from that camera angle. See if we can get a different look at this. Oh man, it looks like the 12 just comes down. It doesn't look like he gets loose or anything, but 12 comes down the track and, makes contact with the 86, and they both go around. Once again, with how the cautions work here with the sim, with the sim cautions, that's going to get called every time. That all said and done, you see drivers down pit road. And while we see these drivers go down pit road here, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. Let our partners over at iRacing share their words of knowledge. Back live here at the Auto Club Speedway here for the Sportsman Truck Series. This is your top 5. Baker, Martin, Jump, Sims, and Stafford. And you see a bunch of drivers going back down to top off on fuel. Very interesting. I guess this really shows you right here, they're probably pretty close on making it to the end here. If they're coming, everybody's coming down to top off. So this has to show that they got to be close on making it on fuel. I really wouldn't see any other ways of them coming down out of their way to come down and top off on fuel if they weren't close on making it. So, but you do see a couple drivers stay out, open maybe for a caution. Maybe these guys are going to save that little bit of fuel. In my opinion, I don't mind what Bob and William are doing as long as they're shutting that car down under pacing, trying to save some fuel. Because in my opinion, if you're doing a good job saving fuel, all you need is that caution to do it. These guys back here, I feel like it takes you kind of equal out on fuel when you have to, you know, coming out of the pit, speeding up out of pit road. It about evens out, unless you're kind of like these guys who, if they kind of slow rolled up back to the start, but only one car on the outside just because everybody else came down pit road. If you pit with one to go, you start on the bottom row. So it's going to be a 11 on the bottom and 12 on the top. Toyota front row, and we're green once again at Fontana. Already see the 24 making a move for the race lead. You see the 6 of Jackson Sims underneath him. Can easily get around Bob. Now Bob, really great person, really great guy, but just does not have the pace to keep up with some of these front guys. And you see kind of now the front 3 who you expect to run up front now. Jackson Sims making one of his first starts. You see Nathan Jump making his first start. And we've already seen the pace he's had. And then obviously Joseph Stafford, kind of the well-known figure up here that we know is going to run up front. Won a race here in the VRS Truck Series. Back up there in the P3's position. But look at Bob. Maybe just didn't have the best start, but he's found his pace. Going on the outside of that 6 machine. With a little bit of help from that 12 machine, he might actually get side by side with for the lead, and he will. Hey, call it commentator's curse. I said Bob wasn't going to stick up there, and look at him now going up to the front. Maybe I should start talking poorly of everybody. Maybe that'll give him some motivation to get up there and try to battle for the win. As you see the 11 take the lead away from the 24. The 11 really driving into the corner. It actually forced the 12 to kind of back out a little bit without making contact. And Bob is flying right now. Bob continuing to lead this race, but here comes the 12 of William Martin. William has been in a fair share of wrecks tonight, but up here decided to stay out and not take that extra lap of that extra pit stop, and gives himself the track position. Cameron Albertson now also coming up here, trying to battle for this P3 position. Going around the outside of that 67 of Jay Salmon. He's going to make that move work. And the big three have started to drop back, and we all know why. I think we all know why. We know these guys back here are saving their stuff. And with this 42 complete, and we still got quite a bit of laps to go, as we'll look at here now, 34 to go. And these guys have to salvage these tires for 34, now 33 laps. That's quite a bit here at Auto Club. And we looked at your track facts presented by Delta Eagle Designs. 2 miles, which is a track, right? This isn't, you know, a Homestead. This isn't a Kansas where, right? Go run, you know, 1 mile, and then go run a mile and a half, and tell me how long that is, right? It's so much longer. And so you think about it, you know, 33 laps with a mile and a half, right? No, let's do 30 times 1.5, that is what, 45. But 30 times 2, that is 60, right? So instead of running 45 miles, you're running 60 miles here when we go to 30 to go. So I mean, it is so much longer, it's so much more wear on the tires. And the track abrasion doesn't help at all. I mean, look at all the ruts. Look at all the, you know, patchwork that's been done to the track on the sim. I mean, we can go on board with maybe one of these drivers. They can show you how bumpy it is. Go on board with the 24. Find the right camera. I'm gonna have to turn on the sim UI just for a second, just because I want to show you guys. I mean, this is how bumpy this track is. So now, 45 miles. No, 60 miles left. You see now, like, we ride on board with this 24 machine. See him all up the back tailgate of the 6, but you see out in the windshield, you see that black truck. That is your race leader, and you can tell that he's on the strategy of, I'm going to try to push as hard as I can, get a good gap, and just try to hold on. Versus someone else like these guys, like the 08, like the 6, like the 24. They're trying to save their stuff. They're trying to make sure that they have stuff at the end here. And they're going to try to go run down that race leader. Maybe when it comes down to 20, 15, 10 laps to go. Some good racing out here. Back outside the top 5. The 45 and the 57. Stafford trying to make some moves now. Remember, Stafford, I think, also one of those guys that are trying to save their stuff a little bit. Back out here. Talked about Bob Baker up there trying to be fast. And Bob is the prime example right there. You use your stuff up. Oh, he's going to get into the side of the 38. And Jim Mott, what a save. And what did I was just going to talk about it. This is exactly, when you use up your stuff, you kill the tires, that car does not drive right. That truck does not want to turn in the corners. It wants to spin out on the exit. And you just saw there, drove it in pretty deep, got into the back end, and now look at Jim Mott. 4.5 seconds off the pace. Now 10 seconds behind the leader. I mean, if we don't get a caution, that's race over for Jim Mott. And there's nothing he did wrong. Just kind of run his own line, but you know, Bob used to stuff up a little bit too much. You see this 12, William Martin, a little under a 2-second lead on the rest of the field. Trying to run away from the rest of the pack, and behind the leader you have kind of a 4-car pack here. Single file, just trying to ride it out for a little bit. You know, 26 coming to 25 to go. There's a long time, a long ways to go. If you want to go catch that leader. I don't really mind them kind of riding around right now. You know that leader is using this stuff up, right? And honestly, they are a little bit quicker a lap than the leader. And then you know why? It's strictly because they're working together. See the 08 not trying to make a move on this 6 machine. You'll see him on the straights here. He'll get up to the back end. And even sometimes physically push him, but he'll just aero push him out. And that just makes both of those two trucks faster. The more you do it, the faster you're gonna go. You see that with the 15. Well, the 15 might actually try to make a move here. We're making me look stupid. The 15 is gonna make a move. He's gonna pass the 24. I think the 24 is okay letting him by right now. But we'll go back to the 08, Cameron Albertson. I mean, this is exactly what you want to do if you want to try to catch that leader. You're not using your stuff up doing this. You're just physically trying to get that guy out in front. It's kind of like Super Speedway racing, right? This is a 1-car pack versus a 2-car pack, right? That's all he's doing. You see, he's trying to get some cleaner on his nose. Going to go up and kind of shade that 6. Going to get a good run off the top. He's going to aero push that 6 out in front. And they're starting to slowly reel in your race leader doing this. So great work by really these top 3. You see the 24 actually starting to drop back a little bit. But they've got that down from just under 2 seconds now to about 1.5 seconds. But now you see Corey Mott. He's trying to get a little bit racy. Once again, the 8, the 08 dedicated to just kind of pushing that 6. The one time we go off him is when he's actually physically pushing him into the corner. I just hope this 08 isn't using up his stuff. Staying behind. Here comes the 15. The 15 doesn't care. Corey Mott said, if you're going to give me the top to go past you, I'm going to take it. I don't care about trying to get the leader. I think Corey knows that the leader is falling back. I think that Corey knows that the leader has used his stuff up. And they have 23 laps, now 22 to go catch him, right? Now it's just about putting yourself in the position, you know, moving the pieces on the chessboard to try to put yourself in a spot to go out there and try to race for this win. Corey now going to try to make a move on the outside of the 6. Oh, he's in the wall. That was that dirty air that we talked about here. a lot in the next gen, but it happens a lot in the trucks. It's just a NASCAR thing, right? The 6 came up and kind of aero blocked him, tightened up the 15. The 15 slaps the wall really hard. Now he's going to lose the spot to the 08. Now the 08 is going to get linked up again with that 6 machine. Gets up there, and look at that. I mean, he's tandeming with the 6 machine to try to get these two back up there. And I think the 15 racing these guys that hard did, you know, maybe lose them a little bit of time. Not to the leader, but maybe time that they could have gained, right, to the leader. Because they're obviously still slowly catching this race leader. Now, going into the corner, just over a second gap that this gold machine has to the rest of the field here. So, I mean, you look at some other different cameras, they're going to be starting to get in the camera shot of this 12 machine. You're going to see him right here peeping in, right behind the ticker. I mean, they're running them down. They're running them down pretty quick. Last lap for the 12 machine, it's 42.05 to Jackson's 41.7. I mean, this is just good teamwork right here between this 08 and the 6. 24, I feel like has been pretty cordial about not racing as hard. I mean, he let the 15 go pretty cordially as well. So when the 15 got a run, I think Corey Mott maybe has a little bit of damage, might be slowing that truck down because he's not been able to get back up and around kind of the big three that we call have been up there towards the front all race. 57 trying to make a look on the outside of the 15. He's going to make that pass work. I'll put the 57 up into the top 5. .45 going around the 15. I definitely think there's something wrong with this 15 machine. I mean, that was a big slap up into the wall. I don't really see a lot of damage. I mean, he's hemorrhaging spots quickly, but not a lot of time to go left in this race unless he's really like trying to pedal this thing around to save some tires or something. Back up here to your top 2, and once again the 8 and the 6 working together really well. Within half a second of your race leader. And unfortunately for William in this 12 machine, you see him right there. Not a lot you can do now, right? You made your bed, you got to lay in it. You used your stuff up. You cannot get those tires back. You can't just magically start to save now and hope that you get them back. You used them up. And everybody else didn't, right? They were a little bit smarter, right? They knew that with 40 laps to go, that you can't push as hard as he did and get away with it, right? Maybe if it was 30 to go, 25 to go, maybe he could get away with it. But now going to about 15 to go, very soon. I mean, they're right on that tailgate, getting ready to pounce. You see the 12 just trying to run the higher line, trying to use that momentum off the corner to try to propel him. Oh, the 08 in the wall. That's going to allow the 24 to he's going to have to try to take advantage of this mistake. And drive it down in there, easily clear this 08. 08 does have a run, though. I don't think it's going to be enough to do anything with, though. I give that P3 position to the 24. Now Jackson has no help. He doesn't have that 08 that was working with him, but he is right on the back tailgate of your race leader. I don't know how much of a challenge this 12 is going to make it. They're there. And I don't think there's anything that 12 could do about it. You're gonna have to roll over and let them go. And hope for them to wreck or something. As I say that, contact! 24 into 12 make contact. That slows up the momentum of the 24. He had a huge run. Now here comes the 08 of Albertson with hope from the 57. Now they're going to go side by side for this P2 position. This is not what they want to see. Jackson Sims got around him clean. And then the contact between him, the 12 and the 24, really slowed up the rest of the field here. I think the 08 does have a little bit of momentum off the top, but they will still go side by side in the 3 and 4. And if I'm these two guys right here, you got to get single file. You cannot race it out. There's still too much time left here. 14 laps to go now, going to 13, I think. I mean, that's a lot of time at Auto Club. You can get those spots back. You can get that time back if you just work together. 24 is going to clear the 08. 08 has to work with them if they want to get back to that 6. 08's going to cross under now. Oh, that was close. Drove it way deep into the corner, slid up. Was able to not make contact with the 24, but I think Cameron might have used his stuff up. Joseph Stafford going to look underneath the 08. I think this is it. If Stafford wants to make it go now, I think Cameron showed in his cards now that he's got nothing left in the tank, potentially. You got to go, right? Unfortunately, it's going to be really hard to pass on this bottom. Albertson in the wall again. And he's going to get help from the 45. 45 is going to get him a shot. Going to get him clear of the 57, but the 08 once again going to run that higher line compared to the 50, to what Joseph has been running. Going to keep it out of the wall, but Stafford with a little bit of a run. No help though. That 45 really working with that 07. Maybe teammates. Obviously you see two Toyotas. But this is not what Stafford wants to see. You know, two guys working against him. I mean, his Chevy Alliance teammates are out in front. Can't come back to come and pick him up. Now here comes the 56, the 67, the Salmon on the top. The race is starting to fall apart for this 57 machine. Thought that maybe he was a favorite to come out here and win. But the rest of the field giving him trouble. Not allowing him to get up into the lane he wants. Now he's all the way back into the P5 spot. Went from 3rd to 5th just because of the stack up. Now Jackson Smith starting to get ran down. 10 laps to go here at Fontana. That 24 is coming, and it's coming quick. I think this 24 has had the best long run pace, I'll say that. But honestly, if I'm the 08 of Albertson, I'm hoping that these guys can work together. I mean, it's not over. These guys start the race side by side. They decide to go side by side back here. If I'm Albertson, you know you've used your stuff up, right? Let the 57 go. Try to push them up there. And get them racing, right? You got to get those top 2, top 3 guys racing. You guys battling back here for the 3rd place spot is not going to get you up there to race for a win. 57 could have cleared. Decides to think better of it. We do have some good racing. I'll grant it that. They're racing hard here with 8 to go. I just feel like if they're going to race side by side, Albertson is always going to have the edge. And exactly, I don't think that's what you want. He has the, looks like the worst stuff is, we're missing a battle for the lead here. 24 took it. 6 is going to cross him over and try to take it back. Jackson Sims in that Delta 6 machine. You see also an Under Armour logo on that truck. Gonna go up there and make a slide job on the 24. I think these guys are pretty equal on pace right now. Gonna be about who can set up who in what spots. 24 not quite there, but he's gonna probably try to make a move down into 1 and 2, trying to take the bottom lane away from the 6. And great racing at the end of this race. Wow. Six allows to take the bottom. That's going to give the 24 the top. He's going to have a huge run off the corner if he does it right. Doesn't get the run I expected, but he will have that massive draft down the front stretch. Going 5 to go now here at Auto Club. Dude, this is the spot on the track. I think the top might be a little bit better. See that 24 start to slowly catch back up. And a move to the bottom. Just gonna try to fight hard on the top. 6 into the wall. All that momentum lost, but not enough to get that 24 clear quite yet. Side by side at the line. Give it to the 24. Now I think the top is a little bit better here in 1 and 2. What is the 24 going to do to try to do anything to keep that 6 back out? Really good line for the 6 to run the top. He's going to re-clear for the race lead. Ethan doing everything at this 6. Give that lap to the 24. We're just swapping this lead back and forth right now. This is unbelievable racing. And it's just going to be about who could... Oh, a huge block to the 6. Wow. It's just going to be about who could set them... Who can set up the pass here. Going on the white flag. Who can get in front here. Side by side once again at the line. You do have a lap car of Ryan Taft. Ryan trying to do everything to not influence this race. But you see, look at that draft. They're going to go up there and try to take that draft that Ryan's giving. Ryan's going to go up there and run the top. Going to make both of these guys go up there, run the bottom. And Ryan's just going to lift out of it. Not his race to be a part of. Still a great battle for that P2, for that P3 position. But we cannot look away from this battle for the win. Six is there at the quarter. That 24 is not going to be able to clear him quite yet. Wow, what a move to get cleared to 6. White flag in the air. Who's going to take it here at Auto Club? We're throwing up top. 6 right there on the quarter. 24 is going to get clear. 24 with about a 2 car length gap. What can the 6 do? He's going to drive it into the corner. Slide job, maybe not. No contact. The 24 is going to clear. And just like that, Nathan Jump with an exciting finish here at Auto Club. What a race. What a race, what a win, what a finish. Hats off to that 24. Hats off to Jackson Sims. Put on a hell of a fight. Let's try to burn it down. Get it over 24 DuPont scheme. Obviously very iconic with, you know, the one of the best to ever do it, Jeff Gordon. So, see him park that thing right on the front stretch. And what a finish. He's gonna take that thing back into victory lane. And with that, let's go ahead and go through your race results. Unofficial race results brought to you by High Velocity TV. It says Joseph Stafford won. I'm not sure. That must be a scoring glitch or something. We obviously saw Nathan take that checkered flag out in front. We'll definitely have to see what's on with that. But Nathan Jump, your winner here. Jackson Smith gonna come home P2. Look at that, 0.2 of a second back. I mean, a great race in between those two drivers. Zach Thomas Johnson in that P3 position. Jay Salmon P4. I'm gonna say Joseph Stafford P5, so it goes from 4 to 6. We'll have to talk to our friends over at SKS Graphics to see what's going on with their race results. I apologize for that. Corey Mott in that P7 position. Jim Mott back there in 8th. William Martin in 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is going to be Ryan Taft in that number 86 machine. Bob Baker rounds out the rest of the field. 2 laps down. And Alan Phillips did not start the race. So we'll technically get a finish of P12, but did not get to start. So, but we'll go ahead and get ready to get your interviews underway. So we're going to go ahead and take one more quick commercial break while we get your drivers into the podium broadcast booth, and we'll talk to your top 3 if we can. So once again, we'll be right back after our words from our sponsors over at iRacing.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Auto Club Speedway here for the Sportsman Truck Series. We just saw an amazing finish between the 24 of Nathan Jump and the 6 of Jackson Sims. Unbelievable finish. But we do have your podium finishers ready to go. So first, let's talk to your third place driver of Zach Johnson, and then I think, right? And then number 45. Hey Zach, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy? Well, a pretty, eventful race for you. Didn't have the best, qualifying run, but kind of sat there in the top five-ish range, and then at the end there, obviously we had that amazing long green flag run at the end there. Seemed like you kind of took advantage of the green flag run, saved your tires, and we're up there towards the end. So walk us through your race, walk us through that finish, and walk us through how you got up to this podium position.
Green flag runs, which I absolutely love, and that's kind of my strength throughout the server or throughout the service. Are these longer runs? So was able to save some tire there at the start of that run, and was good on fuel pretty much the whole way. So fuel wasn't really a problem for me after I came back down and splashed. Just kind of hung out, and I went a little too early in that first run, pushing the tires, and it was just trying to keep the track position I can, because once somebody's at that wall, it's pretty hard to get around them, as the 08 was pretty tough to get around. So yeah, but I'll tell you that the Callaway Toyota Tundra was pretty good. Just needed that little bit extra more. That I don't know what else I could have done to contend for the win. Maybe just needed them to beat and bang up there a little more, and but I'm happy with the third place, and looking forward to next week.
And speaking of next week, obviously, I think it's a cool fun factor for this series, right? You don't really know where we're
Mm-hmm.
going next week, so out of the tracks that we have left, is there one that maybe you have circled on the circle that you'd like to see next week? Maybe one that you think you'd do well at?
I would have to. It's, I mean, really all of them. I'm pretty strong at. Kansas would be a good one. Atlanta, 08 Atlanta's good. Even Kentucky and Dover. So, what I probably feel most confident is Kansas. So, I'd love to see that next week, but we'll just have to wait to see what the wheel says.
Exactly, the almighty wheel gets to decide the track. That's a really cool thing. But
Mhm.
before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out? Sponsors, friends, or family? Anybody watching the broadcast, or really anybody you want to shout out for this P3 finish?
Yeah, thanks to the boys in the Palmetto team down there, and then thanks for everyone who showed up tonight and put on a very clean race, and thank you to you for broadcasting.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, but definitely couldn't do without you guys on the track putting on a hell of a good show tonight. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you go celebrate, get prepared for next week. But hopefully we can talk
yeah,
to you maybe in Victory Lane next week.
yeah. Let's hope.
Yeah. Have a good rest of the night.
Yeah, thanks.
That was your third place finisher of Zach Johnson. I just saw a Sims and Jump in the Discord, and it seems that they have jumped out. So, we'll go over your race results one more last time, I guess, and see if they will come back. I'd love to hear from those two, new to the league. I'd really love to hear their opinions on the race. Obviously, two of the faster guys, and I'd really love their opinion on that battle that they had. But we'll go over your race results one last time. Um, Joseph Stafford not winning. I think he believe was in P5. It also says that in the scoring. So I don't know if if it's the overlays or if it's a scoring and timing issue. But obviously Nathan Jump takes the checkered flag here at Fontana with an amazing battle with Jackson Sims, who finishes in P2. Zach Thomas Johnson, who we just talked to, with an amazing run in P3, saved his tires, drove through the field. Jay Salmon with a P4, really good finish for him. Joseph Stafford, P5. Cameron Albertson with a P6. Pretty good finish for him as well. Corey Mott, P7. Jim Mott, P8. William Martin, P9. And rounding out the top 10 is Ryan Tapton at number 86. And then rounding out the field, Bob Baker, 2 laps down. And once again, Alan Phillips did not start the race, so he will be credited with the 12th place finish for tonight. But nobody else has made their way into the Discord, so I guess it's time to wrap up the broadcast for tonight. So once again, thank you guys so much for coming out and watching the broadcast. If you don't mind dropping a like if you are watching on YouTube, dropping a like on the video, and sharing it with friends and family. Obviously, if you're on Twitch, I appreciate all the love and support. Obviously, that's my personal Twitch account. If you would like to go drop a follow on my Twitch, we do a lot more than just broadcasting on there. I stream my personal stuff on there. But when it comes to the YouTube side, please drop a like on the video. Please hit that subscribe button. We are trying to grow this network as quick as we can. And also just share the broadcast around. Obviously, that's the best way if you want to help support this, with YouTube. The biggest way to get more eyeballs on the broadcast is viewership. Like, if you go back and I highly suggest this, if you really do want to help support the network, just turn on a broadcast in the background while you're doing work or doing school or, watching a race. Just turn on a broadcast in the background, even if you have to mute the tab. That really does help out us a lot here. But besides that, guys, once again, you guys were watching the Sportsman Truck Series here at Auto Club Speedway. My name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race. And I appreciate you guys coming out for this fantastic finish, this fantastic race at this fantastic circuit. But once again, guys, I hope everybody has a great rest of the night. And we will see you probably on Friday for the AWC Pro Series over at Chicagoland. So looking forward to that. But once again, guys, I hope everybody has a great rest of their night, and we'll see you guys soon. Make sure to check out Delta Eagle Designs over on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Over at Delta Eagle Racing or Delta Eagle Designs. Make sure to drop him a follow on X. And if you would like any graphical work, any commissions, he does paint schemes, he does graphic design, he does a lot. So definitely go over there and support Andres with that. A big supporter and a big sponsor for the channel. But once again, guys, hope everybody has a great rest of their Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys here back on Friday for some Xfinity racing. Hope everybody has a great rest of the night. I'll see you guys soon.